Hello, New Jane. Welcome to this week's Team Talk. We're doing things a little bit differently this week. We'll be hearing from someone new every day up until Saturday, and this is coming off the back of what Steph shared last week about it being a little bit of a crummy week, and more than just a week, but more than a month, and actually more than a year. And to be honest, I think a little bit crummy is putting it a little bit lightly. I can think of a couple of stronger words I'd like to insert there. There have been a lot of tears over the last little while. If you're not currently experiencing a deep loss, chances are very good that you know someone close to you, someone in your circle that is experiencing a deep loss. There is so much loss and trauma and pain and hurt and sorrow and grief and mourning around us. How are we dealing with it? How are we? As a Western culture, we're so good at hiding our feelings and big emotions. We suppress it, we put on a brave face, we stay strong, we're expected to get over it quickly and to move on with life. There's a term called the dark night of the soul, which is used to describe a sort of spiritual depression that comes from a life-altering event. Maybe you feel like you're in that right now, or like you have experienced it. And it's not a phase, it's a phase of life. It's not a way of life. It might be something that you experience short term or maybe long term, but doesn't dictate our lives. The Bible is full of accounts like this, people in deep anguish and deep sorrow. And we know that as Christians, our mourning is not without hope. But can we admit when life kind of sucks, when it's really hard, when it's really painful, as Jesus-loving, Bible-believing Christ followers, can we admit to one another when we're struggling? All through the Psalms, you'll see accounts of people crying out to God in pain, in anger, all the range of emotions, deep sadness. And in the book of Job, you read about Job wishing the day that he was born was uncreated, wishing it to be full of gloom and darkness. And that's real honest mourning there. And we read of Jesus crying, weeping when his friend Lazarus died. And then we read of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. And I'm going to read from Matthew's account of that. You can also read it in Mark and Luke, and read the same account in all the different, as many different translations as you can, and hear what God is saying, and hear the emotion, and hear the descriptive words in this. Then Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." And taking with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, he began to be sorrowful and troubled. Then he said to them, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch with me." And going a little farther, he fell on his face and prayed, saying, "Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." In this space, Jesus is not hiding his emotions. He's not hiding it from God. He's not hiding it from his friends. He's running to his Father. And to me, he's saying, meet me in the garden. Meet me in that space and bring me your pain, your sorrow, your anguish. I've been there. Meet me in the garden with your sorrow, with your grief, with your mourning. Don't hide it from me. Don't hide it at all. Be an ear to listen, be a shoulder to cry on. Ask the people around you if they're okay. Find friends to cry with and to mourn with. And cling to Jesus. Run to the Father. Meet me in the garden, says Jesus.